I'm going to go over with you the top 5 diet tips you can implement while traveling so you can continue to stay on track towards your goals, and so that afterwards you don't feel completely guilty for throwing away all your hard-earned work or have any remorse about the actions that you were making while you were traveling and away from your normal routine. And then at the end, I'm going to add one fit tip also as a bonus that you can implement while you're away so you can stay on track. So let's go ahead and begin. The number 1 tip is to not rely so heavily on snacks and snacking. Now this is something that I did for many, many years wrong until I realized that I need to be more so focusing on whole foods and meals, not necessarily the little bitty snacks here and there, because truly snacks aren't ever going to actually completely satisfy us. And if they do, we have to eat typically an abundance of them. And typically whenever we're snacking on items, they're not the most healthiest option that's going to help support our goals in the long run. So for example, the number 1 snack that I see everybody snacking on is trail mix, nuts and seeds. And yes, nuts are really healthy for you. There is nothing wrong with consuming nuts. However, nuts are super dense in regard to the calories that they have in them per serving. So just gonna give it an example. I had a client the other day, she binged on macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are super calorie dense, very high fat, very healthy for you. However, in less than 15 minutes, she consumed 500 to 600 calories in nuts. And now I just wanna say that there is nothing wrong with eating a whole bunch of nuts, but anything in excess is never good for us. And I would have much rather her have had the macadamia nut binge than an ice cream binge or an Oreo binge. So yes, it's all about choosing better, not being perfect. Nevertheless, you can easily eat 500 calories of nuts in one sitting, or even throughout the day on top of everything else that you're eating, and not even realize it. Because even though, yes, when we eat more fatty foods, it can sometimes be a little bit more filling, but again, it just depends on what your total overall diet is for the day. So I know I cater to a lot of keto people. Now, regardless if you're a keto or not keto, these tips are gonna apply to everybody. So yes, nuts are great foods to have while you're on keto, but I would much rather have you focusing on consuming protein, which is gonna bring me into my second tip for you to implement. However, before I go into tip number 2, I just want to conclude and recap with this. I'm not saying that snacks are bad for you and not to stock up on snacks. I actually do want you to have snacks, but I don't want that to be your main focus and priority and the only thing that you rely on. And then simultaneously, I'm not saying to not snack on nuts, but once again, be very aware and be cautious of how much you are consuming, and to make sure that they're quality nuts. So if you have the choice, always choosing raw, organic, or sprouted nuts, that's gonna be your best bet, and really staying away from the trail mix. With all of that being said, my tip number 2 is to actually rely on meals. Focus on actual food that you can eat every single meal, making sure that you're having between 20 to 30 grams of protein every time you eat, and making it a point to actually have very protein dense meals. So what is protein? Chicken, ground beef, turkey, steak, salmon, tuna, all of those are great protein sources for you to have. And to be true, if you're traveling or not, this should always be the standard protocol for you, making sure you're having a nice full protein focused breakfast, a snack in between, that's when your snacks will come in handy, a nice protein focused lunch, full meal, a snack in between, and a nice protein focused dinner with a snack afterwards, if you choose to, or if that's something that you need and you're still not feeling satisfied, which if you are really hungry at the end of the night, that means you're not eating enough during the day, and typically you're under eating in protein. So make sure you get your protein intake in. Now, I do want to offer a pro tip for all my keto peeps. If you are an advanced ketoer, I do want to recommend incorporating intermittent fasting if that's something that you can handle, which means just skipping over your breakfast, having still 3 very protein focused meals, and if you need to still have a snack in between, go ahead and do so. With all this talk about protein and snacks, this brings me to my 3rd tip is whenever you are eating snacks or you're getting snacks prepared and ready for your trip, making sure 80% of the snacks are protein focused snacks. So what does that mean? Beef jerky, turkey jerky, chomp sticks, not the Slim Jims. There's a difference between Slim Jim sticks and then the chomp sticks. I had some lady on an airplane one time hardcore judging me because I was eating a chomp stick and she thought it was a Slim Jim. And after I just got done telling her I was in the health and fitness industry and I'm a women's health coach, she was like, I'm really confused right now because Slim Jims, I don't feel like those are the healthiest option. I was like, they're not Slim Jims, they're chomps. So chomp sticks or even little baggies of the packet tuna, those are super easy to throw in your purse. Protein bars, of course, protein bars are great. Looking for protein bars with lower net carbs, that's always awesome. And then when in doubt, you guys, I never leave home, regardless if I am flying or if I am doing a road trip, without my protein bin. Whenever I'm doing a road trip, Ruben and I, we literally have our protein powder in the car with us. And sometimes when I'm flying, if I can check this into my bag, well, first of all, not if, I can, you can check this in. This is not illegal to fly with, carry on, or checking in your bag. Yes, you might get held up or stopped at security for an extra few minutes, but if you're running early to the airport, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And if you don't want to travel with your protein bins, what I do as well sometimes, depending on how long we're gonna be gone for, I will literally just take a Ziploc baggie and scoop however many scoops for each serving for the day that I feel like I'm going to be using. So if I'm gone for 3 days, I'll do 3 days worth, 3 servings worth of protein, just to make sure I have. That's something simple, easy, you can't go wrong with a protein shake. And if it's a meal replacement, that's even better. So that can serve as a snack or actual meal, depending on who you are and what goals you're currently working towards. Typically, most of my viewers, your goals are gonna range in the area of just straight up wanting to lose weight to some wanting to lose weight and get tone more so and put some muscle onto your physique. Regardless of what your goals are, protein shake, meal replacement is gonna be a great option for you. Now, besides protein-focused snacks, there's other snacks you can still bring, which are very safe. Apples are a great snack to travel with. Clementines, or you can travel with avocado. That's gonna be a hit or a miss depending on if you can, how you can store it, or you might need to bring a knife. So if you can get away with traveling with avocado, go for it. And again, you can travel with nuts, having the raw nuts that we talked about as well. That's always a great option. What I don't want to see is more of like the junk food, snack food, the dirty keto snacks. Those are tips and ideas for snacks. And there's a whole bunch of other snacks I can give to you. Just send me a message if you want more information or ideas for snacks while traveling. Now, one last thing I wanted to cover before I went on to tip number 4 is when you are traveling on the airplane, do your best to avoid the airplane snacks. They're not always the healthiest option. And also, don't drink alcohol, especially while you are flying. Stay away from the alcohol, and even if alcohol is given to you for free, it doesn't matter. Just because something is given to you for free doesn't mean you need to use it or consume it. All right, that brings me into my very 4th tip is if you wanna make sure you're actually staying on track is track your food inside of MyFitnessPal or any other type of food tracking, calorie tracking app. And calories are important, but focusing on the macros is gonna be even more important. So tracking your food, tracking before you go. If you already are bringing food in advance, you can already go ahead and pre-plug in some of your food to make sure that you're staying on track through the day, depending on the type of trip that it is, whether it's business or pleasure. Your options and your choices and how much flexibility you have with your eating schedule could vary. So regardless of what type of trip you're on, tracking inside of MyFitnessPal is one great way to ensure that you're staying on track or to actually be more aware of your eating while you're gone, because a lot of the times when we're traveling, we're out and about, we're just eating here and there, we're enjoying life. And I'm not saying you can't indulge. You're in New York, you want to have a slice of pizza, have it, go for it, enjoy yourself. But again, just if you're tracking, it's going to make you a little bit more aware of your actions and what you're doing. All right, team, so this is my very last tip for diet, and then I'm going to go over one fit tip that will set you up for success. You'll be so blown away with if you implement it, but you gotta wait. So my 5th diet tip, which is super important, is to two things. A, bring a cooler. B, bring a water bottle. That's it. Having a water bottle on hand is super important, especially while you are traveling. When we travel, it's just known fact, individuals get more dehydrated. We're actually not drinking as much water, and especially when we're flying, our body does get more dehydrated. So I get it. If you're on like a 6 or 5 hour flight sitting in the window seat, you may not want to be getting up every hour to go pee. I wouldn't want to personally, so I would, you know what, I would personally lower my water intake. I'm not saying do that. If you don't mind getting up across 3 people to go to the bathroom every hour, go for it, seriously. I probably would just, as soon as I get off the plane, start downing water, like just rehydrating myself after I've been on a 4 or 5 hour flight. And also bringing a water bottle. A, this way you save on always buying plastic water bottles, and then B, you will always find a water fountain or public water readily available, so it's no excuse for you not to be drinking your water. Our bodies are made up of mostly water. Water is vital for our health and our well-being, and is used in all of our cells to operate and function on a level that is optimum. So water is used to keep our cells alive. Like we need, like our whole bodies are made of water. Water is super important. Seriously, just make sure you're staying hydrated, and it'll keep your skin looking more youthful, ladies. So bring water bottle, and that way you can also have something to make your protein drinks in and shakes in as well. Just make sure if you mix your protein drink in there, you're washing it out after each use, because if you don't, when you go to use it again, you're gonna be less likely to wanting to use it or cleaning it out, because it's gonna be nasty and it's gonna smell bad. So you can see it's very important. Now, the other one is bringing a cooler, a lunchbox. This is a tip that not a lot of people know, but you're more than welcome to travel with food on the airplane and bring it past security. Now, when you're traveling to another country, I think it's still the same. Don't quote me on that. The rules and regulations might vary differently, but if you're traveling in the US, you can bring your own food. I know because I do it all the time. If you try to bring a peanut butter container, that will be compensated, but you can bring food. So foods that I love traveling with that are super easy is ground turkey, sweet potato, and broccoli. I am an individual where I don't mind eating my food cold or eating it warm. I mean, girls gotta do what a girl's gotta do. Another food that I enjoy traveling with is actual chicken breast as well. And again, sweet potatoes, they tend to be a little bit easier for me to personally eat. If you don't do sweet potatoes, you can do quinoa, rice, you can even travel with little rice packets. Traveling with a cooler, regardless if you're flying or not, sometimes whenever I was working in corporate America traveling, I would actually pack a massive cooler. It was 2 sizes of this, and put it in an extra large suitcase, even though I was only gone for 2 days, and I'd bring all of my food in there. And if you can't travel with ice bags or you don't have ice packs, just taking a few extra Ziploc baggies and filling them up with ice, and whenever you get to your hotel, if there's not a refrigerator in the hotel, you can always just go to the ice vending machine and take some extra empty Ziploc bags and fill the bags up with ice in the morning time. And then if you're gone all day for work or pleasure, whenever you get back to the hotel in the afternoon or evening time, filling those bags of ice back up and putting it back on your food, and that serves as your cooler. Easy peasy, simple. So those are the 5 tips that I had for you for traveling. If you enjoy these tips, seriously, drop me a comment below letting me know. Your support and feedback is always welcomed, and I'd be more than happy to elaborate on any of those 5 tips. I can go on and on and on, but I figured that these 5 are the most crucial and important. Now, the number 1 fitness tip I can give to you and recommend is to put yourself first. I'm gonna repeat myself. Put yourself first while you are traveling, and you will feel amazing. What does that mean? That means first thing in the morning, waking up, drinking 16 ounces of water, going to the gym and doing your fasted cardio, moving your body for a minimum of 20 minutes on the cardio machine. Or if you're more advanced or you really got goals and you're serious, doing your cardio and weight training in the morning, fasted, getting it out of the way as soon as you wake up. If that means waking up an extra half an hour early, 45 minutes early, then do it if that's gonna support your goals and make you feel better. That is like the number 1 tip I give to all my ladies. I work with lots of entrepreneurs, and regardless if you are an entrepreneur or you're working a 9 to 5, seriously, my advice is to always train, put yourself first thing in the morning, especially if you're somebody where you tend to procrastinate and put yourself off, and by the time the day is over, you just feel super exhausted and you have no energy to do anything. You definitely need to be the person to put yourself first. And when in doubt, to be safe, working out first thing in the morning, making sure you're extra hydrated, and that's gonna really set you up for success. And that, ladies and gents, concludes the 5 diet tips that you can implement, plus the 1 bonus fit tip anytime you go out of town, whether that's for a day trip or a week trip. And if you need my help personally or would like more one-on-one guidance, I'd be more than happy to speak with you. I offer a wide variety of programs and packages depending on who you are and what your goals are. So feel free to reach out anytime, and I'd love to take the time to speak with you directly. And of course, your love and support is greatly appreciated. If you found any value in my content whatsoever, dropping me a comment below, letting me know, tagging somebody and sharing it with somebody would even be more of a greater, not just of a support to me, but also you're sharing it with loved ones. So if you feel like somebody can benefit from this, seriously, tag them in it, share it with somebody. Share it with somebody that you don't feel like you would think would benefit from it, because you never know. Don't ever assume anything. Have a great day.